Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Meet Yeeted Pizza. Yeeted Pizza is level 1 noob account who has only just finished Tutorial Island. However, he is determined to make something greater from himself. As per the request of Silence, I have decided to make a video about quickly leveling up my melee combat stats to level 40. So for this I needed to make a new account because none of my other 4 profiles had level 1 combat stats. And so Yeeted Pizza was born. Now I will not say that I have figured out the fastest way to reach a goal of 40 attack, defense and strength, but I was pretty impressed by the results myself. Either way, I hope you enjoyed the video and let's jump straight into it. First thing I decided to do was to grab the X marks the spot quest since you can get an XP lamp for completing it. I did the first 2 steps of the quest and stopped there since I knew the next steps are in Draenor Village and I knew that I would have to go to Draenor Village later. Not wasting any time, I got to work alternating between killing goblins and cows. The reason why I chose to do this was because I could get food from cows. However, I would still need to get some sort of money to get weapon and armor upgrades. Hence why I went for the goblins. Also considered training on chickens, however decided not to as their spawns tend to be rather crowded and their low hit points mean that I would spend a lot of time out of combat, basically wasting precious experience. While killing goblins I managed to acquire a beginner clue scroll. I debated for a while whether or not should I do it, but in the end I decided that getting any new gear would definitely be worth it. I talked to an old hermit, he gave me a skull on a string and basically told me to fuck off. Afterwards I used the said amulet of ghost speak to speak to a ghost who told me that he wants his skull back. And he also told me that the Amulet of Ghost Speak is a pretty cool item that is only used once in free-to-play, and honestly it would be pretty cool if they used it for something else at some point. Well, at this point I got concerned about how self-aware the ghost was and started questioning if I too live in a simulation like this ghost. So I went to find the skull. Well, first I picked up a shady looking package from this dude here. Isn't he supposed to be a good guy? It just so happens that moments later I find a shrine to Satan, which just so happened to contain the skull I was looking for. Not gonna lie guys, I'm pretty sure this dude ain't a goodie. Since I was near Draenor Village, I went on to finish the X marks the spot quest. And now I'm ready to admit that I wasn't really doing this for the reward. I just knew that I would have to go to Port Sarim, so I just decided to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. The actual reason why I was coming here was, well, came here for the hottest mixtape of all time. That's right, baby. Sea Shanty 2 is here. After I finished jamming out to this hot fire mixtape, though, I put my 300 experience in one of the combat skills. I proceeded to head to Faldor, where I finished the beginner clue scroll I had picked up while committing the Goblin Holocaust. In the reward casket, I managed to find a steel full helm, which made me extremely happy because I could finally hide the ugly hair of Yeeted Pizza. Afterwards, I went to Warwick to do some shopping. I managed to afford a full steel armor set and even an amulet of power, which I honestly think is one of the most important things to pick up early in the skilling, since the bonuses it provides are amazing at pretty much any combat level. After reaching level 14 in all melee stats, I switched to only killing cows and only picking up their meat. At this point there wasn't much else that I could gain from killing goblins, and I knew that I would definitely need more food in the future. I decided to do this until I hit level 15 melee stats, after which I switched my attention to giant frogs in the Lumbridge Swamp. Yeah, they were quite a bit tougher than anything else we have encountered before, but with prayer flicking, it all worked out. I chose these monsters over anything else mostly because of the 2 factors. Number 1, there is no temptation to loot anything. They don't drop anything but their bones, meaning you can fully concentrate on skilling without having to bang. And number 2, they drop big bones, and as I said prior, prayer is a real game changer if you know how to use it. Soon enough I hit level 20 combat stats and decided to move on. I went to Draenor Village and had a chat with Morgan. After he explained to me that the village was being terrorized by an old man living in the manor, I just thought he hated the owner, but he offered me a good reward, so that's the story of how I became a contract killer. I went upstairs and rooted through his belongings just because, and weirdly enough, I only found garlic. Then I decided to murder his wife, of course. That's the obvious progression. Not only to get rid of any witnesses to the garlic theft, but to also let Morgan know who the fuck he's dealing with here. I went to Grand Exchange again to upgrade my armor, all whilst slowly going mad due to the constant sound of I'm Blue by Eiffel 65 playing in my head. I met a senile old man in a pub. Using my charm and a bit of alcohol, I managed to yoink his fucking walking stick. I mean, not sure why, I just thought it was a good laugh. Soon, I was inside the Draenor Manor. I moved closer to the coffin inch by inch, holding my breath in anticipation. And then I stepped on some candles and burnt my foot. Like, really anticlimactic, isn't it? Anyways, the old man was left dead on the ground with a walking stick shoved into his fucking chest, and I dished as fast as I could. At least I got a couple of levels of attack for it. I carried on with my skilling adventure in the stronghold of security, killing zombies. And yeah, they were slightly higher level than me and could whoop my ass, but this is where all that prayer I had trained came into play. Now, zombies don't really have any advantages over flesh crawlers apart from the commonly dropping steel arrows, which was my plan on how to get myself into adamant gear. After a few hours of grinding, I finally reached level 30 in all melee combat stats and went on to the Grand Exchange. There I became a mean green killing machine and bought some strength potions for the next task at hand. And again, I was at the stronghold of security. It's just really hard not to come here, because the monsters down here are so good for skilling, and the people upstairs are constantly fishing and providing you with free food. Either way, this time I was killing flesh crawlers, because, well, this time I no longer needed money. All I needed was experience. And with a max hit of 1 and a pathetic defense level, as well as decent hit points, these babies are the perfect AFK combat trainer. There is no temptation of loot. Nothing can distract you. All you have to remember is that, well, performance enhancing drugs are allowed in RuneScape and that you need once in a while, and you'll just be fine. And finally, on the third day of recording, I hit level 40 combat stats. During this time I had never once checked how much time I had spent doing this, even though the temptation was incredible. I was completely unaware of the final time would be, and here we are with a time of slightly less than 15 hours. So guys, what do you think? Is 15 hours a fast time to get level 40 melee combat stats in free to play? Do you think you could have done it better? Then let me know in the comments below. But all in all, when it comes to skilling, good gear is pretty much everything. It doesn't particularly matter if the enemy is 10 combat levels higher, as long as you have prayer, strength potions, and just decent gear. I thank you again, Silence, for the suggestion. I hope I did it justice, but this is going to be it for this week's video. I really do hope you enjoyed it, and I do hope it might help some of you. If you're interested in more content like this, subscribe, and I will see you around.